Hey, what's up, guys? Kevin with Zephyr Polishes, back with Salinas I with Zephyr Polishes to answer a few more questions you guys have been sending in to us. Today is going to be hash marks. Why are they there? What's causing them? And more importantly, how to get rid of them. Especially on something like a flat surface like this, you can see they show up a lot more. Now granted, this has only been cut. This is just a quick cut in brown tripoli. So there is some clarity. It will be broken down a little bit throughout the passage, but this gives you an idea of what a lot of you guys are seeing, especially on big flat surfaces where you can't help but break it into sections. You know, the right way to do that obviously is to run it the full length of the trailer. This trailer is easy because it's small, but I mean these things get 53 feet long, so it gets hard to step that out and keep the line exactly straight. So what this video is going to do is help you show you what is causing the hash marks, why they're there, and how you can get them completely gone, like some of the stuff you see us crank out here. On the side of the shop angle, we got the doors open so you can get some natural light in here to see exactly what's going on. So this is exposed exactly what he's done with the grinder exactly. You can see every single pass that he's hit. Obviously he broke it up here, he's broke it up here, and broke it up here. So the right way to do this is to blend it all together section to section, whether there'll be a weld or something here, a seam or a trim piece. Whatever one section is all the way where it gets closed off, you want to try to bring that all together. So this would all be one piece, this would be one piece, and up top would be one piece. So back here, we've got this back gate. You can see this is treated as one piece, this is treated as one piece, this is treated as one piece. This piece is by itself, and this piece is by itself. So we'll keep it separate from this piece. So what we've done here, we've already ran it all the way together. So you don't see any break marks in the middle, no sideways marks. This has all been finished at a 45-degree to almost straight up angle, all the way up to here. So now we're going to pick up and clean the surface with our Pro 50, move on to flanneling it, and then moving on to our last step, which is called like a fine finish or a show finish, which is going to get the hash marks completely out. And then just take this step that you've learned right here and apply that throughout the whole process of the trailer, stepping down left to right, and you'll have a perfect mirror finish with no little. All right, this has been taken all the way from prepped to cut all the way with the TR2 Tripoli and the quick cut pad. And then we've also ran it all the way together from end to end to bring this section all the way together. Now before we move on, like all of our other videos, we want to clean our surface. So I like to use the Pro 50 Eliminator by Zephyr, which is a mild acid. It's going to help soften up the aluminum and really clean the surface. What I want to do is pull the burnt up Tripoli and the left up residue that's left in the corners and on these seams and everything. I want to pull it out. I don't want any of the brown bar mixing with my green bar when I go to run this all together with the flannel pad. Because really what you're seeing in these finishes that you're sending us, these pictures and everything, you're having a lot more tighter pass because you're spinning at a higher RPM. And that's why when you're at 3,500 RPM and you're doing your first and secondary passes, you're not having really any hash marks. What you're seeing is a real tight pass. There are hash marks there, but they're just a little bit smaller. So you got to remember that the slower the grinder goes and the softer the pad, the bigger the hash mark is. So there's only a fine little space in between where you can speed up the grinder, because you got to remember that flannel or that other finishing wheel is going to get real small the higher RPM that you go. So you got to be able to find a happy medium there and either be happy with the small hash marks that you're leaving with the flannel, or you can step it up one more time, which like you'll see today. So we want to clean this off and get it ready. We're going to take the green chrome and the flannel, we're going to run it up for you one more time, and then we'll clean it off one more time, get the green chrome residue off, and then we'll put us a microfiber pad on our DA, use a little bit of Pro 40, and we're going to get this to a perfect mirror shine with no hash marks. Now I don't want to spray this directly on the surface in case it drips, or I don't want to keep it from running in case I can't get to the whole thing. So I just saturate the whole rag here, and I'm just going to wipe the gaps real good first, trying to get all that leftover compound and stuff off there. There's no need to really wipe this off. It's going to air dry fairly quickly. So here's our highlighted areas. I'm not really going to be worried about the trim. The trim's pretty much self-explanatory. You're running it up the direction that it sits on the trailer. That's the way it was finished, and that's the way it should sit when you're done polishing with it. So give this a second to air dry right there while I grab the gloves and a rake. We're going to get this wheel real clean. We're going to be spinning at about 1,600 RPMs. is our desired 14 to 18, anywhere in between there. So we'll clean our pad real good. We're going to apply a little bit of green chrome here. Then you're going to be starting from bottom to top, left to right, like I said in all the videos. Doesn't matter what you're working on, that's just the way it's going to finish, the way the wheel spins on the grinder, that's how it's going to sit. So I'm going to start here and kind of back up into here and start polishing. So now you're seeing the hash marks here. Not as heavy here, but you're starting to see a lot more hash marks. Now, if you're trying to work an area, you've done something wrong, because that's what you need to be doing when you're cutting before you bring everything together. This process here is designed strictly to polish it and clean it up, make the tighter passes. So you want to run it all the way side to side without stopping in the corners and trying to work it at all a little bit. You'll notice you'll run into problems with burning and stuff like that. So get halfway up, add a little bit more, just catch it right here and run it all the way up. All the way up. That green chrome mixed with that Pro 50 is going to keep it nice and clean. It's going to run it up. It's perfectly shiny. This is where a lot of you are stopping. This is your end product, finished off, wipe it off, and then kick it out the door. Now, a lot of you are trying to strive perfection like we do every day, so you can see the hash marks here. Let's not deny it. They are there. Some of the videos and pictures that you'll see online, people hide them, they filter them, they get certain angles, and it looks better than it does in normal daylight. So we want to bring a good camera in. I really want to capture these hash marks. That way you can see how we get them out. So now we're going to clean this off. We have green chrome residue left by the flannel wheel, so we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to clean it back off here. Exact same way. Just spray some more on here. Wipe it down. There's not much left there. That's a higher melting point bar, so you're not creating as much melted compound as you are when you're using a brown, so you don't see as much slime. You won't get as dirty, stuff like that when you're using the green bars and other coloring bars you see here. So now that's prepped and ready to go. Just give it a second to dry. All right, now we got it split in half here. This side is basically just wiped off after we did our flannel and green chrome. So now this is a normal finished product. We're really going to highlight this area. I have a finishing microfiber pad from Pearl Nano, and I also have a real fluffy rag. So I mean, a tagless rag, an edgeless rag is perfect. Anything with a really high thread count, because it's a lot more sensitive than a clear coat on paint. So you could look at this stuff and scratch it. So you want something with a really, really, really fluffy rag to be able to wipe this stuff off. And this is similar to what you do if you do any paint polishing, anything. So we're just going to use the Pro 40. It's not going to take us much. We're going to use a little bit more when we first start. That way we can saturate and prep our pad and prime it out. So I'm just going to take a little bit here. I just take my finger and I'm just going to kind of blend that in a little bit. I'm going to start this on a lower setting, like a 3. I'm going to work the polish in. Then I'm going to move the speed up to a 5 or 6. This is just a 21 millimeter high throw DA. It's similar to the Rupes. This is a cheaper one you find at Harbor Freight for $100, but anything will do. The cheaper ones, you definitely want to lighten up on the pressure. The more pressure you give those smaller throw DAs, it's going to affect the counterweight. It's not going to really work in the right pattern to be able to eliminate that. But I do a good job, but it won't really do much better than the flannel pass. So grab a little bit of Pro 40. We're going to start it out on a 3. We're just going to get this pad. You want everything spinning. If you give it pressure, it kind of tries to bog down, so you want everything spinning here. Let's get it nice and spread out here. And we'll walk it backwards. So now you got the polish good. Your pad, if you see any white spots here, you'd know it's not good. So you know everything on the surface is covered in polish. Now you're just gonna kind of slow it down and let the polisher do the work itself. Turn it up, let it spin. Work it back and forth. So you're going to work that really good. It does take a little bit of time, but if you work too fast, you won't eliminate the hash marks. So you've got to let the pad and the abrasiveness and the polish do its job. Now, what's good about using the Pro 40 when you're doing this is you're getting all the good stuff that's in there, all the sealants, all the nice good stuff that's going to make it last a long time. So when you're buffing this in, it's really, you are adding a sealant to it at the same time. So what we're going to do is take a nice fluffy microfiber rag, use one side and get the bulk of it off here.
Ready, set, go.
So kind of try to wipe this off in the grain here. I got a real fluffy rag, always fold it over and forward so your fingers don't poke through and actually scratch it. And add some new scratches that you won't be able to take away with a foam pad or a finishing microfiber pad. So give this a nice smooth wipe off, and you'll see already this is crystal clear. If you throw water on here, it's going to repel it. It's going to do really good in the weather. So this is definitely ideal to do for someone that's going to store their trailer outside and not inside. So keep that in mind when you're telling your customers about sealants and how to get their shine to last and stuff like that. Definitely take the time to either wipe it down by hand if you don't have a machine, or use the Pro 40 with a DA like this and just go over it one more time. Just be able to get some results like this and come in and check it out. Real easy because we're doing just a little spot. Now keep in mind, we always rake our pads before we reapply any rouge and compound to our buffing wheels. Nothing changes here on the buffing wheels that we're using on the DA. So keep a brush, keep an air blower right next to you to get all the compound out, because as it may look clean, you can't really tell. So I like to work it here and then just kind of push it to the outside, back in, and that'll clean off all the stuff. This is a cheap brush you can find anywhere. But then you want to take this here and you're going to apply this all the way. I like shoulder width passes, so I'm looking here to like right here. I'm going to do the process we just taught you on the back here first, right? Then I'm going to wipe off here and I'm going to go to my next section and I'm going to do another shoulder width pass. If you've done it right, you've cleaned your pad, using the right amount of force and everything and letting the grinder really do what it's designed to do, you'll have no problem. By the time you get to the end, you won't be able to tell where you started and where you stopped, and more importantly, you won't be able to see the agitation marks, the hash marks that these flannel pads and these finishing pads are leaving behind at a low RPM. So I hope this helps you out, guys. If you have any more questions, always contact Zephyr Polishes, contact Salinas, holler at me, to Texas Polishing. We want to address your problem. So man, text us, get it in there. We want to see what you have questions on, what video we're going to shoot next. Is it going to be yours? We want to know till you holler at us. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us on Salinas.
Hustle, pay the price, one flight. About to burn it. Bitch. Nigga.